When Ethan walked into our bedroom that night, I could tell something was wrong. His face was pale, almost hollow, like he'd seen something he couldn't unsee. He didn't say a word at first, just stood there holding my old phone in his hand. It was one I hadn't used in years, a dusty relic I'd thrown into a drawer and forgotten about. I remember smiling, thinking he might have found old photos of us or something sentimental. But then he said it, softly, like he was afraid of his own voice. "Who are they?" I frowned. "Who?" He didn't answer, just turned the screen toward me. And in that second my heart stopped. The video was old, so old I barely recognized the girl in it. My hair was different, my voice higher, my laugh careless. And yes, there were men in that video. 3 of them. Drunk, foolish, barely clothed. A night I had buried deep in shame. Long before Ethan and I ever met. The air left my lungs. I felt like I was watching my life crumble in slow motion. "Ethan, that's not." He raised his hand, shaking his head. "Don't," he said quietly. "Don't insult me with an explanation." I stepped closer, desperate. "Please. It's from before you. Years before you. I was stupid, young, lost." He laughed, a hollow, bitter sound that didn't sound like him at all. "Before me? That's supposed to make it better? You kept it. On your phone. Why?" "I didn't even know it was there," I said, tears forming. "I thought I deleted everything from that time." He set the phone down on the dresser like it was something poisonous. "I can't believe I married you," he whispered. Those words cut deeper than any scream could have. Because I knew at that moment, I'd lost something I couldn't ever get back. His trust. He didn't yell. He didn't call me names. He just walked past me, out the door, and left me standing there in the dark, surrounded by the echo of a life that suddenly felt fake. I sat on the bed, shaking, trying to breathe. My mind was a storm, memories colliding with regrets. I'd worked so hard to build the woman I was now, to bury the reckless girl I used to be. But somehow, in a single night, she'd returned, and taken everything from me. That old version of me had died years ago. But now, because of that video, she'd killed my marriage too. The next morning, Ethan didn't come home. His side of the bed stayed cold, the sheets still perfectly tucked. I sat in the kitchen with a cup of coffee that had gone cold hours ago, replaying every possible version of a conversation that could fix this. But how do you explain something that feels indefensible? How do you make someone understand that your past doesn't define who you are now, especially when your past looks that ugly on a screen? By noon he finally came back. His eyes were red, the faint smell of whiskey clinging to his jacket. He didn't look at me when he walked in, just grabbed a glass of water and stood by the counter. I wanted to run to him, to hold him, to make him understand. But when I took a step forward, he said without looking up, "I don't know who you are anymore." My throat tightened. "Ethan, please." I was 21. I was reckless. I didn't even know what love meant back then. He looked up, and the pain in his eyes was unbearable. And I was supposed to just erase that from my head? Pretend I didn't see you like that? Tears burned down my face. "It wasn't love, Ethan. It was a mistake. A horrible, humiliating mistake. I didn't even remember it existed until you found it." He took a long breath, his voice trembling. "I thought we had something pure. You made me believe you were untouched by that kind of chaos. I feel like a fool." His words stung, not because they were cruel, but because they came from a place of shattered illusion. Ethan had always seen me as gentle, disciplined, the calm to his storms. And now that image was gone. To him, I wasn't the woman who stood by his side through every struggle. I was the girl in that video, reckless, wild, unworthy. He finally said, "You should have told me." I closed my eyes, whispering. I was ashamed. I wanted to start over, to be someone better. "You gave me that chance." He stared at me for a long moment and then said quietly, "Maybe you were only pretending to be better." That sentence broke something inside me. For the next few days he barely spoke to me. He moved into the guest room. Meals were silent, eye contact rare. The distance between us became heavier than any argument could have been. And for the first time since I met him, I felt completely unseen, like a ghost haunting my own marriage. 3 days later, I woke up to the sound of drawers closing. Ethan was packing. His movements were calm, almost methodical, like he'd already made peace with a decision I hadn't been told about. I sat up and said softly, "Please don't do this." He didn't stop. "You lied by omission, Lily. You built a marriage on half-truths. I can't keep pretending I don't see it now." My heart raced. It was my past, Ethan. It had nothing to do with us. Don't let a mistake from a decade ago destroy everything we've built. He paused, his hands gripping the edge of the dresser. "It's not just the video," he said quietly. "It's the realization that you could hide something so big for so long. Every time I look at you, I wonder what else you've buried." His words cut deeper than anger ever could. I wanted to scream that people changed, that I had changed, but he'd already sealed himself off emotionally. The wall was up and I was on the outside. When he finally left that morning, suitcase in hand, he didn't slam the door. He didn't shout or accuse. That silence, the quiet, controlled kind, was worse than any explosion. It was the silence of someone who'd stopped believing. That evening I sat alone on the couch, scrolling through old photos on my phone. Us at the beach. His arm around me at his sister's wedding. The look in his eyes when he used to call me home. Every memory was now tainted by a past I could never erase. I could have tried to reach out. I could have begged harder. But a strange calm settled over me instead. For the first time I accepted that some truths once revealed can't be undone. That love built on illusions eventually collapses under the weight of honesty. A week later he returned, not to reconcile but to collect the rest of his things. He looked tired but composed. Before leaving he said, "I loved you more than anyone I've ever known. But I can't love you and still hate what I saw." I nodded, tears streaming silently down my face. "I understand." And I did. Because love, no matter how deep, can't survive when respect dies. When he closed the door for the last time, I didn't chase him. I didn't break down. I just sat there, the ghost of the woman I used to be, realizing that redemption isn't always about forgiveness. It's about learning to live with the version of yourself someone couldn't accept.